So today, it is 12/23, December 23rd, and I am describing a project that we are doing as an option. There's a lot of kids who are taking a top 20 today. Some people will be turning in late work today and stuff, but one of the things that I can show you math-wise is how to make this. This is kind of a cool design. This kid drew a design on theirs and then folded it up. Here's one that's more in its like clean state, and it's a infinite series. It's infinite in that you could keep on making cuts over and over and over again and keep cutting the same pattern. So for people at home, let me show you what the pattern is, and I'll tell you why it's an infinite series. Okay, so we start with our piece of paper, which is just a regular 8.5 by 11 size sheet of paper that's folded in half. And see, like the other part of it was up here, and then it folded down behind it. Okay, so now to make the little project, we find the middle of this, and then we find the middle of that, and the middle of that, so that we have divided it up in fourths. You with me so far? So if I cut out this chunk right here, do you get if I cut all the way across, I would have cut half of it off? Because this distance is half of the whole distance. Okay, but we're not going to cut out the whole hole. We're going to cut out half, but then we're going to stop when we get halfway down here. And we're going to do that. What's that going to make? How much should I cut out? Okay, what I cut out there was 1/4 of what was left. Okay, so here's a way to think of it. You had a whole piece of paper, okay? And if you take off successively half of the half of the half of the half, we had a whole piece of paper and we cut it in half. Then we had a half a piece of paper and we cut out 1/4. And then we're going to take that remaining piece that we have and cut out even more. And we're going to subtract off more and more and more little parts. Doesn't it seem like if you keep subtracting off little parts that everything will have gone away at the end? But if you think about the pattern of it, if it looks like this, do you get when it's all cut down and folded, it's going to look kind of like this. And then I go over 1/4 of the way, down half the way. And I over 1/4, and down half the way. Over 1/4, and down half the way. Do you get how you could keep doing that to infinity? All right, so then what you have left here, this remaining part, is 2/3 of it. 2/3 of what you see of this rectangle right here. 2/3 of it is left. All right, so here's my question for you. See if you can understand this. If I started with a whole, and this is a formula where you take the original amount that you had, amount original, and you take 1 minus the rate at which it was dropping. The rate is it was dropping by a half. Do you get how the rate will be -1/2? Negative because we're making it smaller each time we take a chunk out. And the amount we started with was 1 whole. Do you get that that would mean 1 over 1 minus 1/2, which is 1 plus 1/2? Would you agree that's the same as 1 over 3/2? And then what's the final answer? 2/3. Because 1 over 3/2 makes you flip and multiply, so you get 2/3. All right, so I have 2/3 of what I could see of the original. Okay, so anyway, that's an infinite series, and I'm doing this just really quickly to kind of give you an idea of what this cool little cutting and folding project is like. This is not something, if you are absent today, is not something that you have to make up, but it makes it kind of a cool thing. I'm going to send around so you can take a look at it. And if you are taking a top 20, frankly, you won't have time to do the top 20 and one of those. But if you are not taking the top 20 today, then you have time. You could make one of those, but you don't have to. If you are wanting to do something else for me for math, you want to catch up an old homework assignment, you want to do something else, we can talk about those options. So I just want to record this quick so people that knew what we were doing today in my honors higher algebra classes. It's a pretty light day, and I'm sending you home with one of those rare you have no homework to do. So just enjoy time off with your family for the next week and a half or so. All right, that's all I have for you for the video for today. Okay.